Hi, welcome to Promo Insiders, an ASI Media podcast covering the topics that matter most to the promotional products industry. I'm Sarah Lewandowski, Executive Director of Client Education and Content at ASI, and today I'm here with Sam Maule, Tech Futurist and Head of Business Development at payment software platform Move. Sam recently joined us at the ASI Power Summit in Scottsdale to discuss tech advancements to expect in the next 5 years and what it will mean for the promo industry. So, Sam, we appreciate you being here today and thank you for joining us at the Power Summit.
No, it was a lot of fun. I love being able to meet up with folks who are passionate about what they do and naturally curious. And I would say that group was naturally curious, which was great.
Yes, I agree. And you know what? I want to say I really appreciated your clarity and your honestly your candidness about what we should expect because this was a theme threaded throughout the event. Technology and particularly AI are very powerful. And I feel that there's been a lot of like breathless optimism about it, but it's going to change our lives significantly and in ways that we're not even aware of yet. And you brought that up during your session, which I really appreciated. During your session, you said the automobile changed cities, the phone changed human behavior, and AI will change everything. Can you illustrate briefly what that means for the average person, who's building their lives, making a living, supporting their families, their loved ones in any way that they can, perhaps hopefully continuing to innovate and being creative? What does it mean for us as people, these tech advancements that are moving so fast?
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. There's a great quote by a man by the name of Alan Torrance who said, really the greatest skill set you're going to have in the future is how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And if we have ever lived through a time where that is true, we're living through it now. We've all had to do that throughout our careers. We've seen the introduction of the internet, the mobile phone, crypto, you take your pick, but we've just never seen technology at the pace of change that we're living through now, especially with artificial intelligence. So I think what it's going to mean for the average person, for everyone, is you're going to be in a continuous learning pattern. You're never going to be able to sit still and coast, which, to be honest, why would you want to? That's boring. So it's going to just be a continuous learning thread because this technology is changing so fast. So it's one of those where you have to be engaged. And what I meant by it changing everything, when we talk about artificial intelligence, this is really a family of different sciences they're built in that term, and they're all intertwined with a million other technology changes that we're seeing now. So you take your pick: cloud computing, the Internet of Things, the data centers that are springing up everywhere. Artificial intelligence, in my opinion, is going to touch every aspect, every industry, and really every touch point that we have. And we've already lived through that. Think about your mobile phone. If you ever want to get depressed, actually go out and see how many hours a day you spend on your phone. It's a depressing statistic. Now, yeah, now get put it on steroids with artificial intelligence, and it's going to be fascinating to see where we go.
Absolutely. And so if we're jumping to, promo specifically, how will AI, let's say, change the promo experience? Perhaps how people receive and interact with promotional products when the world is moving so much into the digital these days?
Yeah, and I talked about this a little bit at the conference. In the short term, the effects are going to be actually kind of boring, I think, because right now we are in such the early stage of this technology and where it's going to take us. And right now, take the creative side away, which everyone is seeing now. They're making videos and pictures of themselves and going crazy. Um, but actually, what's really good right now is on the mundane. And I talked about agents during that talk. So the mundane tasks, those boring tasks, those repetitive tasks, the agents that we see are going to be fantastic at automating those, which actually frees up your teams and your staff to be much more creative and focused in on, you know, what are the next things? What are those next things that we can do? When it comes to the promo industry, I really believe, and I talked about this during the conference, personalization is going to be such an incredible leap. Being able to personalize clothing articles, the promo materials that are being provided to really fine tune them and personalize them on the fly is going to be a huge leap forward in what we do. I really do believe that for the industry.
And that leads actually very well into my next question for you, which is these AI agents. We talked about agentic AI several times at the conference, and right now, we're talking about how AI can help with assisting, but when does it actually move into actually strategizing for a company at the highest levels and executing on that strategy with little or no human intervention?
Yeah, that's the part that scares me.
Yeah.
And I think I said that, during my talk, because what I really believe with artificial intelligence, it's an imperative that we make it human centric. We can't lose sight of that. It's an incredible tool, but I think even in these early days, some of the promises that have been made on the stages by, folks with titles like mine, is a stage overblown. There's still a long way to go with agentic AI. There really is. That realistically, that's a horizon that, we talk in 5-year timelines, 10-year timelines. That's probably more realistic of where we're going to achieve that. Where you run into issues with agentic AI and thinking for itself, if you will, is AI is, and it's really based on these large language models. It's based on historic data. And when we start getting to the point that we're seeing now, this is one of the issues that we have now, Sarah, that I know frustrates you too. Go on LinkedIn and read the content that's out there. And I guarantee you north of 50% of that is generated by AI. You can tell. We can still tell. I really do believe you can tell. And when you're producing that much data, that means it's feeding into these large language models, which means AI is learning off of AI. Where's the creative spark? Where's the human spark in it? That's something we cannot lose. And I said that to the group, right? Your moat is your data. Your moat is your people. Your moat is your IP. There's never been a time in history to where you need to protect that more and embrace that more. That's your competitive advantage. I do believe that. And the AI as a co-pilot will be fantastic with that. But the agentic AI part of that, I think you started out calling me a futurist. I'll be a futurist. I don't know. I would be blowing smoke if I said it. 5, 10 years off, and I could be incredibly wrong. But I don't think this is something a year from now we'll be talking about saying, hey, it's there and we're running forward with it.
It's going to change society, humanity in ways, to your
Yeah.
point, that we can't even fathom right now. And you said something during the session that's really stayed with me. When people ask me about the Power Summit, I'm like, so the futurist said the next 5 years are going to be terrifying, and everybody's eyes open up really wide. What did you mean by that, to kind of bring it home? Like,
Well,
that's not what people
yeah.
really want to hear, but it's reality, right?
Yeah, and terrifying can be a good thing, right? We love roller coasters. They're terrifying. We love that Hail Mary pass in a football game. Terrifying is not necessarily a horrible thing. It is, what I meant by that is we aren't ready. As a society, we are not ready. Our educational systems, our universities, our high schools, our elementary schools aren't ready. The way that we work isn't ready. The way we govern isn't ready. And we saw cracks in this when we went through a pandemic. We definitely did, when there was a shift to, all right, we're going to learn online. And it was a horrible experience. We learned that, right? And yet we see a lot of these after effects of what we went through COVID. I was with my wife yesterday. We went to Target and we didn't go in. She pulled up to the spot, said, I'm in slot one. Our stuff came out. That's a leftover from COVID. That is something no one saw coming at all, and yet now that's part of our lives. The mobile phone and how we operate. Before the smartphone came out, think of so many things that we do now. We were using Tom-Toms in our car. Remember the Tom-Toms? They were so cute. You'd plug them in, right? You remember, Lord, Sarah, remember having the folder with your CDs or your cassette tapes if you're old like me, right? Yeah, you're laughing, and yet now within our phone, within this device that we're taking with us into the car, I literally can hear a song in a commercial, Shazam it, and now it's on my playlist, and that's that instantaneous. What if and now on Spotify you have AI that's your DJ, that knows your tastes and can put those playlists together. There is so much we don't know, and that's what I meant by the terrifying part. The next 5 years are going to change dramatically in all aspects of our lives. And the thing is, I can't tell you which ones. I don't know. Our behaviors are going to drive it. It's going to be fascinating and terrifying to see how we adopt AI. The terrifying side, I talked about it in my talk. Top 3 use cases for AI globally: therapy. You're getting therapy from an algorithm, everybody, but therapy, companionship, when we already have a loneliness epidemic, and life coaching. You're getting life coaching from ChatGPT. I ethically have issues with that. That's what I mean by terrifying.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, it's interesting to think about what this is going to mean from when you're a child all the way to an adult and somebody who's growing up with this, and how it's going to affect how you use your own mind in terms of creating, innovating your behaviors. It's fascinating, but yes, to your point, I also find it a bit scary. And you did talk about during the session, the fact that we are now seeing, like, you had an example of it with the AI voice generator that was not you speaking, but it was your voice, which is terrifying. That is terrifying for people to be scammed that way. And there are huge these centers for these scammers where they're making all of this money based on this AI, the scamdemic you called it. And I mean, we have to like grapple with that as well. There are definitely downsides to all of this technology, and we have to grapple with that.
Yeah, it's a tool. I think that's the another point that I made in the talk, right? AI is a tool. It can be used for good, it can be used for evil. It's, and it's something we have to safeguard against. I'm incredibly excited to see where it's going to take us in areas like medicine and in preventive care and in, financial services, and helping people learn how to save and invest their money better and take advantage, of, you know, credit card offers in this case, or loan offers, or refinancing offers. There's a lot of benefit that could take place there. On the flip side, we've already seen, the negative side of this, the sheer volume and scale that we're seeing that has been weaponized by using AI for fraud. And that is incredibly scary. And that's where I also get to, from a societal, a governmental, a regulatory standpoint, we're not ready. The tech is moving faster than we can, and we're not prepared. So on that side of it, yeah, a little bit scared.
So with that in mind, to bring it all home, what are like the top, and you had a comprehensive list of kind of next steps for leaders and where they should focus with this new horizon coming at us quickly. So what were like your top three for leaders in the promo industry? With all of this said, where should they be focusing their attention right now and taking care of their people, as you mentioned?
Yeah, that's job number one. Take care of your people. We're going to see, in my opinion, significant job losses and requirements for retraining. Get ahead of the curve. We know that's coming, so start prepping for it. And I did talk about that in the session. There is so much free training material out there that you can offer your employees. Have them understand that you're going to be there with them on this journey as they transition and learn how to use these tools, and you're going to be an advocate for them. I think that's one. So human centric. I've said that repeatedly. The second part of that is, as a leader, you got to train yourself. You just can't talk the talk. You've got to get out there and learn about this. And the third is, you need to focus internally. I talked about your data, your people being your competitive moat. Um, you really need to clean up that data. You need to have a very good view on what data you have captured, what state that it's in, both structured and unstructured. And in situations like that, you need to reach out, in my opinion, externally. Find great partners that can work with you and help you on that. Because AI based on bad data is bad AI. It's not going to give you any competitive advantage. So I think those are the top three.
Great. Well, thank you, Sam. We really appreciate your time today and for joining us at the Power Summit. Thanks, everybody.